Please ensure the loan repayment will be taken care of. During my workday, an unforeseen email appeared in my inbox. Upon quickly contacting him, Greg calmly explained, "I apologize, but I've developed feelings for someone else and have chosen to embark on a new life with her." He further disclosed his intention to keep the luxury vehicle recently acquired under my name with a loan. Despite my efforts to dissuade him, my spouse dismissed me, abruptly terminated the call, and became unreachable. Ultimately, Greg vanished with his new partner, leaving behind a substantial financial burden. As a parent to our 10-year-old child, I never anticipated such an unjust predicament. I felt lost and uncertain about my next steps, my mind drawing a blank. At 35 years old, my name is Hannah, and my husband, Greg, is the same age. We were a family of 3, including our bright 10-year-old son, Ryan. Ryan had exhibited exceptional intelligence from a young age, perusing articles on the computer and seeking my perspective on intricate subjects. In contrast, Greg was inconsistent, never securing long-term employment. Despite my full-time job and anxieties about our future, Greg had recently managed a stable income for 3 years. Lately, Greg had been talking about creating lasting memories as a family, which led us to the decision of purchasing a $35,000 camper van. However, due to Greg's inability to clear the finance company's loan assessment, I ended up securing the loan for the vehicle. On the highly anticipated delivery day of the camper van, I received a sudden email from Greg declaring that he would be taking the delivered van since the loan was under my name, and I would be responsible for the installments. Confused, I immediately phoned my husband, only to hear him admit, "Well, I've become enamored with another woman and decided to pursue a relationship with her. I initially intended it to be casual, but it evolved into something serious, so I'm contemplating a fresh start with her. Goodbye." He referenced the divorce documents we had previously discussed during an argument, stated his intention to file them, and unilaterally concluded the call. This conversation marked the initial realization of Greg's betrayal, a devastating blow. Subsequent attempts to establish contact with him were unsuccessful. Upon returning home from work and checking the drawer where the divorce papers should have been, I discovered they were gone, leaving me saddled with a considerable debt from a $35,000 car loan. Despite repeated efforts to contact my spouse through emails and phone calls, my attempts remained unanswered. Ryan, observing my unusual demeanor, approached me with concern after dinner. "Mom, what's wrong? You haven't been eating much lately. Are you all right?" Yeah. Maybe I'm just fatigued." When people lie, they glance upwards and to the right. Lying is wrong. I've noticed Dad hasn't been home for 3 days. Did something happen between the two of you?" Startled by Ryan's astute observation, I inhaled deeply to compose myself, recognizing that I could no longer conceal the truth. I resolved to tell Ryan everything. "I see. It's typical of Dad to act in such a manner. Aren't you upset?" "No. I kind of anticipated this based on how things were unfolding." Ryan, seemingly predicting the future, appeared unfazed by our parents' separation, but I knew deep down he must be hurting. While silently apologizing to Ryan in my thoughts, I desperately tried to avoid dwelling on the distressing events. However, my body betrayed me, and my health gradually declined. There was a scheduled training session at work that day, but I couldn't manage to stand, and ended up crouching down. "I'm sorry. I can't stand right now. I need to take a break." I heard my colleagues' voices filled with worry, but I was unable to respond and collapsed. When I regained consciousness, I was in a hospital room. The doctor informed me that I required detailed examinations and admitted me to the hospital. Hannah's thoughts. I feel so pathetic. It's supposed to be just emotional distress. Gazing at the IV drip in my arm and the sterile white ceiling of the hospital room, tears involuntarily began to stream down my face. At that moment, Ryan, typically calm and composed, burst into the room with a deeply worried expression, prompting me to quickly wipe away my tears. "Mom, what happened? Is it serious? You're not going to die, are you?" "Of course not. I wouldn't leave my precious son all alone." "Ah, that's good, really. I received a call from my teacher informing me that you were taken to the hospital." I was so shocked, my heart nearly stopped. Ryan, usually mature for his age, was still just 10. I felt a powerful determination to recover for his sake. However, my condition was more severe than I had initially thought, and I received a serious diagnosis. The doctor advised, "You should undergo surgery as soon as possible. Please make a decision quickly." Following the doctor's recommendation, I underwent surgery, and by the time I was discharged, a month had passed since Greg's departure. When I returned home and opened the mailbox, I discovered a demand letter for the car loan payment. Hannah's thoughts. The repayment should have been automatically deducted from my account. Panicked, I checked the account balance using my debit card, and the balance, originally $20,000, was now a mere $33,090. Hannah's thoughts. Greg did this. I want to demand he return the money, but I can't reach him. What should I do? Since I don't have the camper van, I can't sell it. After Greg left, everything seemed to be spiraling downwards, and my spirits plummeted further. Observing my distress caused by this string of misfortunes, Ryan placed his hand on my forehead. "You look pale. Are you feeling unwell again?" "You don't seem to have a fever, though. I'm physically fine. But you see, your father not only took the car, but also all the money we had saved. I can't work due to my physical condition, and now we have no money. I'm at a loss." "I see. Then I'll deliver newspapers, and I'll search online for any work I can do." Encouraged by my 10-year-old son's determination, I told myself that this was not the time to succumb to despair. "Sorry for worrying you. I can't afford to be weak. I'll shift my mindset and try my best at whatever I can," I said, smiling at him. Ryan returned the smile, and then uttered something unexpected. "Let's devise a plan to retrieve the car from Dad. How can we accomplish that? The camper van is registered in your name, right?" "Yes, but what about it?" "Then maybe we can—" Ryan proposed an idea I couldn't have conceived of. I had never considered such a possibility. "Furthermore, I have no clue where your father is." "Then let's check on my phone. A month ago, when we went hiking as a family, surprisingly, Ryan, who is usually very dependable, got lost. At that time, we purchased a children's cell phone on recommendation and installed a GPS application on it, which both Greg and I could access. With this app, I can track Dad's location in real time, and he's been moving around quite a bit." Such a bright child came from me. Understanding Ryan's words, I was utterly astonished. He had even become aware of Greg's affair. All right, let's teach Dad, who betrayed us, a lesson. Okay, let's initiate the plan immediately. Together, my son and I prepared for that moment. Hannah's thoughts. With Ryan by my side, I'm invincible. Bring it on anywhere, anytime. 3 days later, my phone rang. "Ah, it's me. Please, I need your assistance." "Oh, and who might this be?" "Don't be ridiculous, it's your husband, obviously. I'm being questioned by the police about you. At this rate, they might request me to voluntarily come to the police station." "Help me out." "Oh, is that so? Just wait a moment, then." I immediately accompanied my son to Greg's location, and to my surprise, it was a forested park near our home, suitable for camping. Greg was being interrogated by the police in front of his car, looking perplexed and pathetic. I sighed and informed the officers that we needed a private conversation as a couple, requesting them to step aside momentarily. At that time, Greg appeared uncomfortable being observed by the surrounding people, and urged Ryan and me to enter the vehicle. Inside the car, Greg's mistress was seated cross-legged, glaring at us. But that was no longer relevant. "Sorry about that." "Thanks for coming." But why did the police suddenly appear at my campsite? I don't understand. That's because I reported the camper van as stolen. What? Why would you do that? It's evident, isn't it? My vehicle was stolen. Greg, foolishly assuming that actions between spouses couldn't be considered criminal, was spouting nonsense. But the world isn't that naive, you know. You filed for divorce, remember? Forgot. So we are now strangers, and you're driving a stranger's vehicle without consent. That's a crime. Ryan figured all this out. Ryan figured it out. Typical. Sharp as ever, that kid. But I didn't steal the car. I just borrowed it temporarily. Oh, is that so? Well, I'd like to use my car now, so could you please return it? That would be incredibly helpful. As I extended my hand, requesting Greg to hand over the keys, he reluctantly complied. After confirming the car's return, Ryan calmly began speaking. Hey, why did you abandon your family and choose to have an affair with this woman? Caught off guard by his son's unexpected question, Greg became flustered and awkwardly scratched his head. Witnessing this, Greg's mistress chuckled smugly and interjected. It's because I'm more appealing than your mother. Look at me, you can tell, right? He fell head over heels for me and decided to leave his family. Quiet. I didn't ask you, old lady. Dad, you answer. Mandy was silenced by Ryan's stern tone, but Greg remained silent. If you can't explain, that's fine. I'll simply have the police return and arrest you. Wait, hold on. Okay, I'll talk. Mandy, it turned out, had joined Greg's company 3 months prior. They were mutually attracted and initiated a relationship at the new employee welcome party. Later, it was revealed that Mandy was pregnant, and Greg decided to build a new life with her, leaving us behind. Why did you take the camper van? I quit my job and considered selling the car for money, but it seems like you were using it quite a bit, weren't you? I thought it was wasteful to sell it immediately, so we decided to go on a trip. Wait, how do you know all this? Remember when Ryan got lost? Afterward, as a precaution, we bought him a children's phone and installed a GPS app. Did you forget we installed it on your phone as well? So I knew your whereabouts all along. By the way, I later learned from Ryan that he had intentionally gotten lost during our family hike because he wanted a cell phone. I was amazed by Ryan's capacity for strategic thinking and action. I suspected something was amiss with Dad, so I devised this plan to monitor his actions. You truly are a formidable child. I could never become an adult like you, Dad, who betrays loved ones without a second thought. Greg, confronted with the harsh truth Ryan had revealed, was a pitiful adult, unable to offer any rebuttal. In contrast, witnessing Ryan, only 10 years old, but capable of independent thought and expressing himself firmly, instilled a sense of strength in me as a mother. I felt that I couldn't lose, especially in resolving matters properly. Also, return the $20,000 you withdrew from my account immediately. That was our shared marital asset. I don't have to return it. No, it's not like that. The money was what I diligently saved, little by little, since I was single. After all, you consistently quit your jobs midway, so we rarely saved any money together. Did we? I was appalled to learn that the $20,000 had been squandered by Greg and his mistress. It was the moment I felt relieved about divorcing him. So that's how it is. But if you stole and used the car and my money, that's going to be a serious offense. What? I just sent the police away, so it's no longer their concern, right? I only said we would talk. I have no intention of withdrawing the complaint. I must add the theft of my money to the report. Mom, should I call the police now? I can do it with a single button on my phone. Mandy, Greg's mistress, had been observing our conversation but swiftly attempted to exit the camper van. At that moment, she let out a scream that reverberated through the area. The reason was that outside the vehicle's door, Mandy's parents were standing there, faces flushed with anger, about to explode in fury. Startled, She stepped back as her parents shouted at her. I'm sorry. Don't be so angry. But why are you here, Mom and Dad? I called your parents beforehand. Your parents? Beforehand? What? Why? The truth was, during my hospital stay, Ryan had visited Greg's workplace and tearfully informed them. My dad left home with a woman we don't know, and my mom collapsed. Seeing Ryan's sorrowful and vulnerable state, the people at Greg's office suspected Mandy, who had left the company with Greg, and provided Ryan with her parents' address. Greg and Mandy had been excessively friendly at the office, and there were photographs depicting them together at the new employee welcome party, appearing like a couple. After learning from the office staff that you commuted from your parents' house, I went there with your picture, and your parents came out when I visited. Then I told them everything that had transpired. So today, I contacted Mandy's parents and requested them to wait nearby for a while. How could you do this to me? The worst. I don't want to hear that from you. That's my line. By the way, your stomach seems quite large. When is the baby due? In 3 months. What? Wait a minute, that doesn't align with when you met my husband. You two met only 3 months ago. What's going on? It's not time for the baby to be born yet. Greg, hearing this for the first time, stared at Mandy, eyes wide with shock. Wait, what does that mean? Are you stupid? Don't you get it? It takes approximately 9 months from conception to birth, which means the child she's carrying isn't yours. You're so foolish. Mandy initiated a heated dispute, but no one intervened, allowing them to vent their frustrations. Meanwhile, we contacted the police again to clarify the evolving situation. As darkness descended, the forest park was illuminated by the flashing red lights of the police vehicles. No, really, I was wrong. I was truly in the wrong. I'm sorry. I'll work diligently and never be unfaithful again, so please, just don't arrest me. Dad, people don't change that easily, especially indolent individuals like you. Exactly. Ryan's right. I can't trust you at all. Reflect on your actions and face the consequences of your crimes at the police station. If I'm arrested, I won't be able to repay the money. Is that acceptable to you? I don't mind. Repay me after you've atoned for your wrongdoings. Take your time. Don't worry. I've already found you a place to work. Let's see. There's Ryan's child support, plus the $20,000 you stole from me. I'm not sure how much it will all amount to, but you'll work and repay it all. I had one final message for Mandy, the mistress. You might perceive yourself as a mere bystander, but don't forget you're an accomplice to Greg's theft. Be prepared for the repercussions. When I informed her that Mandy would be held financially responsible if Greg couldn't return the stolen funds, she trembled in fear. Mandy pleaded with her parents for assistance, but they declined, stating, "We disown a daughter who creates problems for others." Thus, Greg and Mandy were escorted away in a police car together. Thanks to Ryan's astute strategy, we were able to hold Greg and his mistress, Mandy, accountable. Although they were released from custody shortly after, they faced a substantial financial obligation to me through legal channels. I filed a claim for $20,000 in damages. Additionally, I made Greg agree to pay $500 per month in child support for Ryan. I connected Greg with a subcontracting factory affiliated with my company. The support payments and other charges I levied against Greg would be automatically deducted from his wages and deposited into my account. I also sold the camper van and was liberated from the auto loan. Since then, my health has dramatically improved, and I am now brimming with energy and dedicated to my work. Ryan has been actively assisting with household tasks and errands. I strive to maintain a strong and positive outlook so that Ryan can pursue his passions without hindrance.